Good Monday evening, high school sports fans. Joe Gilloway with the Lingelstown Gazette Sports live from the Orchard Street studio. And this is episode 24 of our weekly podcast, Gazette Sports Chat, where we'll get to know participants from various realms of the high school sports world. The student athletes who play the games, the coaches who coach them, and others connected in different ways to the entire experience. We'll introduce you to tonight's guest in just a moment, as soon as we're done thanking those responsible for bringing you tonight's show, our Lingelstown Gazette Sports Platinum sponsors. And they are Rickabah's Electric, Payor Apparel, Ted's Bar and Grill, Freedom Financial Wealth Management, The Tire Mart, Team PA, AAU Basketball, Tonino's Pizza, American Legion Post 272, Hoffman Ford, Capital Region Insurance Agency, Modern Imprint, Sam Hartley Decking, Crystal Bob at Howard Hanna Real Estate, and Underdog Sports Bar and Grill. Thank you to these great local businesses for their continued support of Lingelstown Gazette Sports and our area student athletes. Upcoming on Gazette Sports Chat, we have a lot of very interesting and exciting guests. Tuesday, the 21st, we have some boys basketball players from Susquehanna Township, Alfonso Burnett, Big Springs, Aiden Sally, Carlisle's Parker Smith, and Hershey's Cam Sweeney. Then Thursday, the 23rd, we have three members of the Altoona girls basketball team, Milana Iyer, Lainey Wilt, and Zaylin Wen Moore. And then some more girls basketball players. Haven't been scheduled yet, but we've reached out and got confirmations from Amaya Stort from Wyomissing, Jay LaCozier from Middletown, Kyla Correa from Lebanon, and we're working on Peyton Dincher from Jersey Shore, and that would make four. And then we just try to get a schedule there. We have some girls wrestlers coming on the show, as well as some Central Dauphin girls basketball players. We're going to bring them in as a group. So, and then this Sunday and every Sunday, of course, we have our high school hoops recap show Sunday night at 6:00, where we talk about the week in review in Central PA high school sports, or high school basketball in this case. So anyway, tonight's guests on Gazette Sports Chat are four siblings, all sisters to be more specific, who have made their mark as one of the most talented and successful sports families in the history of Pennsylvania high school basketball. During their illustrious careers at Cumberland Valley High School, they helped lead their Eagles teams to 7 Mid-Penn Commonwealth Division titles, 4 District 3 titles, and 3 of the most coveted PIAA big school state championships. On the individual side, all 4 of today's guests earned multiple Pennsylvania Sports Writers All-State honors, with each voted first team at least once. And after their high school days were finished, they all went on to continue their careers at high-level Division I basketball universities. It's with a great deal of pleasure and excitement that I welcome to Gazette Sports Chat Kelly, Katie, Julie, and Jill Jekot. Welcome, ladies.
Thanks, Joe, for having us.
How was that? Was that good? Was it accurate?
That was accurate. That was impressive.
All right. Now you really got to do a good job, right?
Oh, gosh.
So anyway, I mean that, though. I'm excited about this, and I'm excited because I had a chance to watch you guys play, all of you, for multiple years. And you not only played well, but you played right. You played the right way, and you represented your school well and your family and Central PA. And that's kind of equally exciting to be able to interview people of that caliber. So anyway, let's get started. And right before we went on the air, I told you guys I was going to ask you this question. Jill and Julie, how was practice tonight?
Oh, boy.
Jill, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, practice was great. We're getting started with Big Ten conference play right now. So we're just preparing for our upcoming game on Thursday against Oregon and scouting that team and getting ready for that. But it was a good day.
You know, I was looking at your schedule, and like the last game you guys played was Nebraska. And how much different is playing Nebraska and like Carlisle? I mean, that is just such a stark difference, right?
Oh, yeah.
With respect to Carlisle, of course, you know.
Yeah. I definitely say there's a little bit of a difference there. But that comes with just the transition into college. You know, obviously every team you play, it's going to be bigger, better players. And, you know, that's what we practice for, to prepare for that and get ready to win some games. So. And
then your coaches and your older players kind of help you along and help the Nebraskas feel like the Carlisles once did, I'm sure, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's always the goal. That's always the goal, for
right.
Sure.
Okay. Yep. And how about you, Julie? I do know that you didn't have practice tonight, but normally you would have practice. You don't play any longer, right? You're a grad assistant coach. Talk about that a little bit at LaSalle.
Yeah, so I decided to take on this position to switch it up a little bit this year. My concentration is management, so this is like a perfect opportunity to get some hands-on experience. But similar to Jill, our team's entering into conference play. We just took a tough loss to St. Joe's. So we're
Okay.
a little bit upset about that. But we're hungry. We want some A10 wins, so we're back at it.
Okay, that's a great segue. Let's bring Katie in. Okay, I'm going to ask Katie and Kelly. Katie first. How does it feel to not have practice anymore, Katie?
Yeah, it's great. I wasn't the biggest fan of practice. I definitely liked games a lot more. It's a weird, like, seeing my team play without me just because I was there for so many years. But it's been nice to just watch them play and not have to do all the running and everything.
And scored 1,000 points in college, as you did, of course, in high school. So you kind of stayed consistent there, right?
Yes.
From ninth grade until you graduated from college. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah.
And how about
St. Joe's?
Good. So Kelly, how about you? Do you miss practice? Do you miss playing basketball?
I definitely miss it. Yeah. I mean, Katie and I, we can live vicariously a little bit through Julie and Jill. I'm actually going up to State College to watch her play on Thursday, so I'm pretty excited about that. But I will say, yeah, it is a little bit different not to have like instruction every single day of your life. Of course, we have full-time jobs, but it is a little bit different now, I would say.
But you've been there and done that and done it well, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Sure. So let's rewind a little bit. Growing up in the Jekot home, was basketball always one of the centerpieces of the household, Kelly?
I would say yes. Both of our parents played. My dad played in college and kind of coached all of us individually growing up. So yeah, I would say that we all kind of helped each other too, playing in the driveway, playing during COVID. So yeah, I would definitely say it was kind of the center of our lives growing up for sure.
And Katie, where did your parents meet?
They met in college. So my mom was a field hockey player and my dad played basketball, like Kelly said. And so, through the athletics, that's where they met each other.
And what do they do now besides be your parents?
So my dad works in sales and he's been doing that for over 20 years now, has had a very successful career. And my mom worked in teaching for the first couple of years of her life. And then she decided to stay home and take care of all of us with basketball, which helped out a lot, driving us back and forth to practice out to Philly and everything.
That's the real job there. And I mean it. That's the rough job. Your dad gets to go away for a little while every day and sell and make money. So talk about the commitment. Julie, I'll bring you in for this one. Talk about the commitment that your parents have had to make, not just to you as daughters, but to kind of like all in basketball kids.
Yes, we are super blessed to have the parents that we do. They would take us to Philly every Tuesday, Thursday. And now living in Philly for school and making that drive, I simply cannot believe how much they make it and still make it to come see us and go see Jill. So it has been such an amazing ride with them and definitely a big commitment that we are all super grateful for.
Okay, let's bring Jill in here. It's not all about basketball in your family, and I know that. It's probably about a lot more than basketball. But talk about how important your studies are to you and your sisters. I mean, I know you guys are great students. You're the one that's still in undergrad. I think Jill, you're going for your master's now. Julie. Jill and Katie, right?
Julie.
I am.
Or Julie, I'm sorry. I'm pointing right at Julie and yeah, Julie and Katie, you're going for your master's now, right?
I already finished mine.
You finished yours, okay? Yeah. And Kelly, you finished yours, right?
Yeah. So I'm long out. I'm older than Kate, so she was right behind me and graduated a year after me. So both Katie and I, we have our masters.
And then Julie, you're working on yours, right?
Yes.
And then let me shift gears back to Jill. That's where I started. Kind of puts a little pressure on you, doesn't it?
Just a little bit. They all have their MBAs or are getting them, so I might be following in that line of suit or whatever. But no, yeah, I think our parents, going back to them, have done a really good job of grounding us. And, we all know, I see it in the three of them, but the basketball stops bouncing at some point. You hear that all the time. And so just really focusing semester to semester on my studies is really important. I want to go into the business school here, like business world, kind of like they did. So, you have to maintain a certain GPA. You have to take these certain classes that are a little bit more difficult. But we all have a pretty good understanding of how college sets us up for life and that, you have to do well in school to have those opportunities after you're done playing basketball.
Right. And Julie, she just mentioned GPA. What was your GPA in college?
I graduated undergrad with a 3.98.
Oh man, I knew that. That's why I asked. That's phenomenal. How do you do that for 4 years? I mean, that's just. How about anybody else? Can anybody go toe to toe with 3.98?
No, Julie reads about 40 books a year on her own, which we're like, that's amazing.
Yeah, reading is fundamental. We heard that. It's pretty true.
Yep.
Okay, so Kelly, at what age did you know that you were pretty darn good in basketball? I mean, you guys probably had a basketball in your hand at a young. How old were you when you had basketball in your hand?
I would say I started playing around 5 years old. Katie was probably 4. And then around 7th, 8th grade was when we started playing competitive AAU. And we also played soccer growing up.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes. And so our parents were kind of like at that age, especially with Julie and Jill, younger, looking up to us. They were kind of like, let's pick one sport. We'll specialize. So I would say around 7th, 8th grade going into high school was when we were like, okay, we can really make something out of this.
And it probably didn't take long till you realized you were as good or better than most of the players around you. Is that true?
I would say, I mean, Katie and I, we pushed each other a lot, and I think that really helped. And we also had talent on our high school team and our AAU teams as well. So like being able to compete with all those girls, I think that we were able to see that for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't that you probably were the best players on those teams, but there were a lot of really talented basketball players around you too.
For sure.
Morgan Bachman. I mean, the list goes on and on. You know, and that's what's so impressive about, you know, guys scored a lot of points in high school. That's not easy to do when it's easy to do when you have people feeding you the ball. But when there's other people around you, other players around you that know how to score the ball, you know, my hat's off. You guys, I think you guys had like over 5,700 career points cumulatively. Did you know that?
I knew it was up there for sure. 5,700 is a lot.
5,720 altogether.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then, Katie, you came in kind of right behind Kelly. Were you able to take her on one-on-one, like out in the driveway, right out of the gate, or what?
I feel like we played against each other a lot. You know, it was a little bit harder for me. I'm about 5'9", she's 6'1", and so there's a little bit of a disadvantage there. But
6'1" with guard skills too. Okay, so that makes it even tougher.
But yeah, we played against each other all of our lives, and she helped push me to be the player that I was. So it was good for both of us.
Yeah. So how about let's go with Julie next. You came up right behind there. Were you able to hang with them once you got to be maybe 8th, 9th grade, something like that?
Definitely.
No, yeah, we're here to be honest.
Big shoes to fill, and they were at college when I was in high school, so there's only minimum opportunity to get them on the courts. So,
and then of course Jill, the one we were all waiting for. I mean, did you guys know how much anticipation there was for Jill Jekot to come around?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, they couldn't wait for her to come around, and and you didn't disappoint. That's for sure. What was it like having 3 older sisters that were such, let's say, phenomenal basketball players, but phenomenal older sisters too?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably the luckiest person ever to have these 3 young ladies as my role models in my life. And I didn't even have to like go out and find them. They were just born in as my best friends, and the people that I can look up to. But like the amount of things I've learned from them is insane. Not only obviously in the basketball world, I'm going to have good and bad days, and being able to watch how they kind of experience that and, you know, handle my own situations through that has been so helpful. But off the court as well, like in school, realizing how important it is to try hard outside of basketball. And then as people, I mean, they're the people I want to be like. I say that every day. They're kind, you know, they do things for the community, and that's the type of person I want to be. So I try to replicate everything I do off of them.
You know, and it kind of shows when I see you guys together, whether it's 2 of you or 3 of you or all 4, you know, every now and then I'll see all 4 of you. I think when Jill, when you were getting ready to score your 1,000th point, I think everybody was there. But you could see the closeness that the 4 of you guys have for each other, and then when you throw in your mom and your dad, and you could just see that that's a loving family. You know, there's an aura that comes off of it. So
Yeah.
That's great. I'd love to see that. And you know, I wanted to mention this too. You know, your sisters, you grew up together playing basketball, but you all have your own styles.
Yes.
Did you ever think of that? I mean, you really do. You all have your own styles of play. And of course, there's some, you know, some common elements. But, you know, when I think of Julie Jekot, I think of Katie as a different style of player. And I guess you guys were all able to kind of develop your own niches and your own ways of going about things too. Is that right, Katie?
Yeah, and I think it correlates to how we are like off the court as well. Like we all have different like great personalities. Julie and I were talking the other day, or maybe it was Jill, how like we all represent the age that we are in our family. So like Kelly's like the oldest, she represents the oldest child, the way that she plays, she's very poised. And then I'm in the middle, like very aggressive, like going after the ball. Julie's a lot like that too, trying to get that time to speak because we're the middle children. And then Jill just, is representing us, as she said. So it's really like amazing to watch.
Katie, I'm sitting here laughing because I have a note here about how aggressively you played. I was actually going to bring that up. I remember the first time I had seen you play before, but it was down in Milton Hershey. It was it was probably a state championship tournament game. And man, you were fighting for a loose ball, and that girl was twice your size. And there's no way she was getting that ball from you. And then somebody on one of the opponents offered you up, trying to get you up off the floor, and you weren't having that either. I said, man, that's the girl I want on my team.
Yeah.
Is she? Let me ask Kelly. Is she kind of the most aggressive in the right kind of way sister that you have?
I think all three of us would agree. That's definitely accurate, including my parents too.
I love it, by the way. It's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I have so many stories like playing with Katie, and just honestly, her being aggressive made me better as a player. And I'm sure it made Julie and Jill better as well. But
who doesn't want that player on their team? You want a player like that on your team 100%. For sure. Yeah, for sure. Julie, what's it like playing in the Dome? Cumberland Valley's, it's called Dome Gym or the Dome.
Yeah.
For my dime, the greatest high school facility around, indoor high school facility. Did you enjoy that?
Yes, there's honestly nothing like it. I still talk about like the Dome to this day because the atmosphere in there when it's a packed gym, when like we're playing Central Dauphin and everyone from the community comes, like there's not a feeling like that in the world. It was the best.
Yeah, I was at a game February 2nd, 2019. It was a Saturday. You were playing Parkland. Do you remember that game? So it was a Saturday. You guys started like 11 in the morning or something. I know that Coach Wolf usually schedules a game or two like that every year. I took a friend of mine who had never seen you guys play, any of you guys play, I don't think. And you went like coast to coast or just about coast to coast at the very end of the game, put the ball up with like a second and a half to play and got fouled. You guys were down 1. Do you remember that game?
I do. Yeah. My sophomore year.
Right. Exactly. So you got fouled. You're going to the line. You guys are down 1. And I said to my buddy, I said, let's go. And he's like, what do you mean? The game's not over. They're down and she's got to shoot 2 free throws. I said, she's going to make them. I said, we can watch her make these free throws on her way out of the gym. And you made both free throws and the game was over. So I just thought, though, that's a Jekot, You were confident. And they're hard to make. They're hard to make for great free throw shooters under those conditions, and you just stepped up and made them both. And we walked out of the gym, like I said, but yeah, I just remember that's one of the best plays I've ever remember you making for sure. So Jill, who was the best at one-on-one in the driveway?
One-on-one. Okay.
Let's say now though, because it's not fair if you were 10 years old and your sisters were way older. Who?
Okay. No offense, guys. I'm taking all of you in a one-on-one.
I'll give you that.
Honestly, take it.
Funny you bring that up though. Like during COVID, sometimes we'll bring this up. Like we never really played one-on-one, I'd say, but like we'd get a 3v3 going with the parents in, and like no one would ever want our mom on the team because she was a
field hockey player, right?
Yeah. But no, we would definitely compete against each other in different ways, and the winner would always change up. But right now, if there was a 1v1, I think I'd have to take home the gold medal for that.
Well, you're the active player.
You're
the youngest, maybe the least injured of the crew at this point, right?
Yeah.
So, you're the least dinged up. Let's put it that way. Yeah. And plus, you're a darn good player, too, So,
thank you.
Anyway, let's talk about Kelly. 2,141 career points of the 5,720 I mentioned as a group there. 3-time Pennsylvania first team All-State, and 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year. That's about a resume that I don't know if I've ever seen with anybody else. Do you think you kind of left it all out there? Did you miss anything? Was there anything that you didn't accomplish?
No,
3-time state champs. I'm sorry. That's the most important thing. The
Yeah,
most important thing is that you won 3 championships. Yeah.
for sure. Winning 3 was everything. Honestly, I guess the only thing that I would have wanted to add was winning my freshman year. But like I mentioned, everyone around me made me the player that I was, including Katie, including my coaches too, Coach Wolf, Coach Poole. They coached all 4 of us. And that's not a coincidence that we had the accolades that we did. And he had coached at Central Dauphin. They had a successful career. So I definitely want to give credit where credit's due there. But yeah, I would say I look back on high school basketball and it was some of the best times of my life, some of the best memories. But yeah, I definitely left it all out there. I'm definitely proud of all 4 of us.
Good. And talk about some of the other players on those teams, those few teams there that won state championship. Well, we know Katie.
Yep. So when I was younger, there were the Faulkner sisters, so Jen and Jackie, the Torreson sisters, so Madison and Mackenzie. And then there was Taylor Sneidman. And then as I got older, Morgan Bachman, Morgan Frazier, Addie Kirkpatrick, some of those other girls that you had mentioned.
My goodness.
Megan Rhodes was a huge player for us. A lot of talent there. And a lot of them went on to play Division I, Division II basketball. So like I mentioned, surrounded by greatness for sure.
So let's just be honest here. Could any of you shoot from the outside as well as Morgan Bachman? Man, that girl could shoot. Maybe you could. I'm not trying to put you guys
Julie.
up. Julie, okay, yeah, because Morgan could shoot the basketball. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed watching her play a lot. Being the younger sisters, Katie, Julie, and Jill, and watching Katie, Julie, and Jill, watching Kelly. Did it put any pressure on you? Like, oh my gosh, we have to try to be something similar to that, or was it always just like just be Julie and just be the best Julie you can, the best Katie, the best Jill?
I think that falls back into like the style of plays that we have. Like we can all play to our strengths. It was nice looking up to Kelly, and I think she even gave us less pressure for that road to playing in college because she showed us like, here's how you go to the AAU tournaments and play in front of college coaches. She had home visits, so we were more comfortable with the coaches coming to our house and having dinners with our families. And so, I mean, there was a little bit of pressure for me just because we played together, but we worked well together. And then I would say Julie might have had the most pressure just because Kelly and I did well, but she came in and did her thing in high school. And then, as you can see, Jill's doing great now too. And so I think there was pressure, but it's good pressure. It made us work harder, made us become better players, and then pushed us all to be Division I basketball players.
Yeah, there was none of that. There was no letdown Jekot. Like everybody got it done, you know. I like that you mentioned that, Katie, because everybody in their own way just had. I said it at the beginning of the show, an illustrious career. You know, you're all champions at some level, and so what about let's kind of transition into that that recruiting piece you just talked about. You know, with the coaches or the recruiters coming over, you all had to choose our college. I'm going to start with you, Kelly. You ended up going to Villanova first for undergrad, right? And then you finished off at Penn State. Yeah. What was it about Villanova? I mean, it's a great school, naturally, but what was it about Villanova that the coach was able to get you to go there, or that you ended up choosing to go there?
Well, you kind of just said it. Villanova is an amazing school. And
amazing
I knew academically, yeah, I wanted to be a part of that culture. We have family in Philadelphia, which Katie will probably answer in her question. But we all wanted to be out near family. Our dad was raised out in that area, and I had been to Villanova before. The campus is beautiful. And so there was not much more to it. Honestly, the basketball team is great. We went to the NCAA tournament one year, and I just wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah, that's a great reason. Katie, how about you? St. Joe's.
Same type of thing. I mean, so Kelly was out in Philly, so that was kind of easy. We also played AAU out there, so we were familiar with the area. I think we're all like Pennsylvania people. I say that now that I live in North Carolina, but at the time, right out of high school, I wanted to be close enough where I could drive home on the weekend, but not too close where my parents could just swim.
That's perfect. That's awesome.
And then just the coaches there, the family atmosphere. St. Joe's is a great program, great academic school. And then being just outside of Philadelphia, I wanted to be near a city.
Right. And Julie, how about you? What made you choose LaSalle?
I think Katie and Kelly touched on really good points with like being in the city and being in Philly, but also watching my sisters play in the Philly Big Five. I was like, I want to be a part of that, and I'm going to choose a different school and play against them too. Like I like that like aspect of it. And as far as LaSalle, like they're really known for like the grittiness, the toughness. Like we're in the north part of the city, and I just felt like that was me. Like that was home for me.
And I don't want to, Jill, I'm going to ask Kelly this first. Talk about Penn State real quickly, too. I don't want to leave that out because that's part of your story.
Yeah.
You were able to do 1 year at Penn State? I think you got injured the year that you were supposed to finish off, right?
Yeah, I was there for 2.5
Okay.
seasons. Yeah. So I went there because I had actually played against Coach Keeger in the Big East. So the coach that's now coaching Jill, coached at Marquette.
Mhm.
Villanova plays Marquette in the Big East tournament. So for 3 years, I think I went 0-6 against her. She just has a winning culture. They won the Big East a few times, and I knew that I wanted to play for her. So I went in the portal. She was one of the first people to call me. And then within like the week or whatever it was, I ended up committing.
Okay, great. Yeah, I don't want to leave that out because I know that you're Penn State proud as well.
Yes.
Okay, Jill, how about you? You're in Happy Valley now. What ended up getting you up there?
Yeah. So like I wasn't supposed to come to Penn State at first. I was committed to Pitt. But honestly, I think everything happens for a reason, and I'm so happy that I ended up here. It's been such a great experience. I love playing in the Big Ten. It's the best conference right now in women's basketball. And every game that we play, we know it's going to be close. We're going to be playing some superstar from another team. So I think that's really fun. And also Penn State is obviously known for its connections around the world. And I think that is just such a cool part of this school. And you go somewhere and you know someone that went to Penn State. And I think that kind of atmosphere, that culture is really awesome to be a part of.
Absolutely. And how about your teammate, Mariah Murray?
Yes.
Let me tell you why I'm asking about her. I saw her as a freshman.
Okay.
In high school, and she was playing Dunmore is where she went to high school. You know that.
Yep.
And it was like the state quarterfinals. I think it was in Marks Hall in Pottsville, and they were playing that really good Trinity team with Cassidy Ingram, Sunshine McRae, Ava Stevenson, Lauren Trumpy. I don't know. You guys remember that team? Loaded with talent. And Mariah, and I think it was Victoria Toomey, who's the center, but they beat that Trinity team by like 35. And all we could talk about on the way home was that point guard with the headband.
Yes. Yep.
What's up with that girl, man? Is she great to have as a teammate?
We call her Mo. She is the funniest person I've ever met, but she is such a great teammate. Like, you talk about a culture kid, like she's given everyone a high five. She's such a good leader for this team. She's technically only a sophomore in basketball, a redshirt sophomore. So no, she is great to have around. And yeah, she still wears that big
headband
on her head.
It's like a big headband.
Yeah. But no, she's awesome. She's a fantastic shooter for our team. Has helped us win a lot of games this season. So
I think she's second in the country in 3-point shooting. She was as like a week or two ago. Yeah.
She was holding that number 1 spot, and then I think there's someone that passed her, but she's definitely up there right now.
So I kind of totally want to switch gears here. I didn't know where to put this in, but I used to watch your grandfather watch you guys. Aww. Okay. I loved it. I loved watching him come in the gym and the joy that you guys brought him. And I think he passed away a couple years ago now, right?
Yes.
2 or 3 years ago. But I had to bring him up because, man, if somebody is growing older and you want them to be around love and around people that love him or her and make them happy, he had that with you guys. I mean, I never saw anything on his face but a huge smile. You know, talk about your grandfather. Was he your biggest fan?
Yeah, I can speak for everyone when we say, like, he was literally, like, when we saw him, our face lit up. He was always there supporting us. He like almost never missed a game. He'd sit front row.
Yeah.
He loved it so much, and that made us so happy. And I remember I'd look over sometimes and he'd have his little notepad. Like,
did he really?
And then I'd come out after the game and be like, Jill, you had so I'm like, oh, thanks, Pop Up. Like, it was really a cute moment for all of us. But no, yeah, he was definitely our biggest fan.
He could not have forced that smile off of his face. Every second he was in that gym watching you guys. So what a blessing that you had him and that he had you guys. That's for sure. So Julie, you're a grad assistant coach. Is that something you might want to stick with? Do you like coaching?
I do. Yeah, I've thought about it, and it's definitely a possibility. I'm not limiting my opportunities to just, with basketball, but I've had a great experience getting to learn from my coaches. And it's such a different dynamic now from going from a player to being a coach with them. So it's been a really fun experience and definitely has opened my eyes to opportunities in the coaching world.
What are some other possible goals that you have set? Do you have any other career paths that you're looking to maybe go down?
So undergrad, I was marketing and now management. So always wanted to follow my sisters. So potentially maybe sales like they do, because I see them succeed so much in what they do. And then also like social media marketing, digital marketing, all that fun stuff is something I'm also interested in.
That stuff's fun.
It's
fun for you younger people. No, I'm sure it is fun. Kelly, how about you? What do you do now? What is your in your professional life?
So I work in medical device sales for a company called Stryker. I sell minimally invasive surgical cameras. So anything that you would need to see inside for an MIS surgery. So I'm in the operating room every day, which is
wow.
Cool. Yeah.
That sounds like a pretty darn good job.
Yeah, it is a good job. I like it a lot.
Good. Katie, how about you?
Sales as well. So I work in pharmaceutical sales for AbbVie. I sell a product called Rinvoq. So it's for arthritis. But I think the great thing about Kelly and I's job is just like, it's a job that gives back, but it's also a job that is competitive. So you're working hard to try and sell something that's going to help patients out there. And then also being an athlete and going into this industry, you still have that competitive drive, that team building, that leadership building. And so I think it's been a really good fit.
Good. Well, I wish you all well. And Jill, how about you? Do you have a job at the Student Union Center, anything, minimum wage? Or is it just basketball right now?
Basketball is my job now.
That's all it needs to be.
Yeah, I'll figure out what I want to do.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Well, I most of my professional life was in sales too. And I know how gratifying and I mean, how well you can compensate yourself too, if you're good at it. But I just think that whoever you guys are calling on are fortunate to have you, selling to them, and I wish you well. I think I kind of lit up like a bulb here when you guys kept saying you were in sales, and it's just a great career, So let me ask you this before we move on to the next kind of phase here. How much of your lives, and I'm going to ask each of you individually, do you owe to basketball? And you've earned everything. I'm not saying that it's just because of basketball. Basketball as a vehicle to your success. I'll start with you, Jill or Julie.
Okay. I just think that I would not be where I am today without basketball. It has opened so many avenues off the court, like beyond anything we could have possibly imagined, for schooling. And just it's taught us so many lessons that we can carry out in our everyday lives, just like discipline and things like that. And I also think basketball has really brought our family so close together. It's something we can bond about, and I know who I'm turning to when something goes wrong and all that.
Great. Katie, how about you? What has basketball done for you in your life, in your world?
Yeah, I mean, the same type of things. In college, it teaches you how to be organized, how to be on time, just different things like that. And I think the biggest thing as well is the people that you meet. And so I have some best friends that were teammates. I have great relationships with my coaches. My current boyfriend was actually a practice player, so basketball brought me him.
Shout out Anthony.
Yeah, we love Anthony.
Was he good as a practice player?
He was really good. Yeah, he played club basketball and he played baseball, so he's athletic.
Right.
But yeah, just the people that it brings you and the culture and everything, I think is great for just every next step in life.
And Kelly, how about you? How is basketball? There's some obvious things, but talk about basketball as an integral part of your upbringing and your success today.
Yeah, I think what Julie said really resonated with me. Like from a family standpoint, I have 3 younger sisters, but I really look up to them in their own ways. They've taught me a lot by playing basketball as well. And I would say too, we haven't talked about my injuries. I've torn my ACL twice. That, I don't know if I'll go through, I'm sure I will, but that was really challenging. I don't know if I'll go through anything that hard in a little bit. And so every day when I get up and I go to work, I'm thankful that I've been through some things. Basketball has given me the ups and downs, etc. So I'm just happy that I played for sure.
And Jill, you're a little bit behind them. You're still in school and still playing, but how has basketball, helped get you to the point that you are today?
Yeah, I mean, I feel very thankful that I'm able to have like a deep love and passion for something, and I think that keeps me motivated in everything I do. But yeah, I mean, like basketball, the first of all, like it gave me an amazing opportunity to come to college early and to get ahead in academics and have amazing experiences there. And then obviously it's going to prepare me for after college as well. And along with that, I'm also playing in kind of a different era of college sports than the rest of them. Like there's a lot of new stuff coming up within these next few years, and I know the opportunities that are going to present themselves there are going to be nice, and it's going to be interesting to learn more about that and see where that sets me up.
Okay, thank you, Jill. Yeah, Kelly, I was going to actually ask you about your injuries, but everything seemed to be going along. So yeah, we're all laughing and smiling, and I know that you got through them, but I will ask you this because I see so many injuries, and just you either get injured or you don't. It doesn't matter how fit you are, how much in shape you are. It just happens. What do you have to say to the people? I mean, I know a couple girls right now that are really like high-end high school players in this area. You guys probably know who they are, who are sitting on the sidelines right now because of ACL injuries. What do you have to say to them about like keeping their chin up and just kind of muddling through it and listening to the doctors and just having faith that you're going to get better?
Yeah, I mean, you just said it. I think staying true to the process and really looking inward and seeing how, something so hard can make you better. I remember when I was at Penn State, and this was after the second ACL injury. The first one was more like, okay, like, everything happens for a reason, I'll bounce back, et cetera. And then you do it again and your whole world crashes. And I remember thinking like, how do I spin this into something positive? And I just remember kind of what Katie was saying earlier, the people around you, the coaching staff. At the time, I thought I wanted to be a college coach. And so I put all of my eggs into that basket. And I was like, I'm going to do everything I can to be the best leader on this team. So my advice to younger girls or whoever is going through this type of adversity is just to kind of, see how you can spin it into a positive light. Right.
Yeah, I was close to, because I'm the public address announcer for Central Dauphin, to Caroline Shirey. And I'm sure you guys know who Caroline is. And she got injured in the district semifinals against Central York, like a big stage, big game. And, it happened in the first quarter and it was just a terrible night. And I went and I visited her the next day just to say, hey, keep your chin up. We're here rooting for you. And I left there thinking, man, this girl's really got a lot ahead of her, to come back. And she did, though. That's the point. She did, because she had the attitude that you had, Kelly,
Yeah, for sure. It can make you better, too, if you do it the right way.
Right. Okay, so before we move on, I'm going to ask one of our sponsors is Payor Apparel. They do sports apparel. I'm going to get you all a T-shirt from Payor. They're good 50-50, real comfortable, thick shirts. I'm going to start with you, Kelly. What size are you?
I'm a women's large.
What about a men's?
Probably men's medium. Men's
okay.
Large. Yeah.
Medium or large? You want it a little bit bigger?
Do medium.
Okay.
Men's medium's fine.
All right, Katie.
I'll do the same.
Okay, Julie.
Can I have a large?
Yep, Jill.
I'll do a large as well.
All right, I'll get them, and I'll get them to your parents. I know you guys get home as much as you're able to. Okay, we're gonna really shift gears here. I didn't ask you a whole lot about life outside of basketball, because we do that with Keeping It Light. You guys ever hear of Keeping It Light?
I haven't.
Okay, I didn't think you did. I had one or two of you on a show like years ago out at Ted's Bar and Grill. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was me and Julie. Yeah.
Okay, that was before the Keeping It Light thing started. So Keeping It Light, this stuff's going to have nothing to do with basketball, nothing to do with Cumberland Valley or the schools you're at now, nothing to do with mom and dad. It's going to allow the viewers to learn a little bit more about you guys outside of all those things. So let's start with Kelly. Favorite meal? What's your go-to meal?
Chicken and rice.
Chicken and rice. Okay. Boy, she did that with conviction. That wasn't hard at all, was it? Okay. Katie, favorite sports team?
Like basketball or
any sport. You can have two too. If you have a favorite football, favorite basketball.
I think I enjoy watching the Phillies the most.
Okay. Yeah, I see pictures of you guys with your Phillies gear on. Julie, let's do favorite TV show or series. Is there anything that you've binged that you really like or watch again and again?
I just finished the Squid Games series. Actually, me and Katie binge watched the first season together.
Do you recommend it?
One though. I just watched that though. Right now, my favorite show is probably Reba.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's go to Jill here. All-time favorite athlete. Any sport, any level. Any sport, any level. Athlete.
Okay, I'm gonna.
You could do two if you want.
Okay, I'm gonna do one in the past and then one right now.
Perfect.
In the past, shout out to my dad. I'm gonna go Dr. J, Julius Erving.
Okay, that's a good one.
And then right now, I'm gonna go Tyrese Maxey. I love.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Good. 2 Sixers, right?
Yeah.
2 Sixers.
Yep.
Okay, let's do one more round here. Let's go back to Kelly. Favorite musical artist or group? What kind of music do you like, first of all?
This is such a good question. What have I been listening to? I do like country in the summertime.
Okay.
Like Morgan Wallen. I know Julie loves Morgan Wallen. That's probably my winner.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Katie. Favorite dessert?
So many.
I really like Rice Krispie treats.
Okay, so do I. They're good.
Really good.
And then let's part 2 of this question. Favorite candy bar or candy?
Gummy bears.
All right, good one. Okay, Julie, I'm going to ask you the question that nobody wants to get.
Oh, no.
But the reason you're getting it, there's a reason why I'm asking you this one. Favorite book?
Oh, okay.
That's perfect.
That is perfect.
That's why I asked her.
My favorite book it's called The Book of Lost Names. It's a historical fiction book.
Okay. What do you like about the Book of Lost Names?
Well, my favorite era to read about is World War II, and it takes place during that time.
Okay. Wow, that's a great answer. But do you see why most people don't like having that question?
Yes.
They look at me like, dude, this is called keeping it light, man. That's not light. Okay. Let's finish up with Jill. And let's see. How about, do you have a favorite vacation spot?
Okay, we're actually going to Hawaii this May. So I think that's going to end up being my favorite one. But
Okay.
right now, I would probably say Santa Barbara, California. That we've been there once or twice, I think. So I really like that spot. I thought it was beautiful there.
Kind of a perfect place, huh? That's just one of those places. There's the weather's perfect and everything.
Yeah, I'd say I wouldn't mind living there if I was older, but we'll see if that happens.
The world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, ladies, thanks so much. I'm going to ask you if you want to do any shout outs. I mean, I know this isn't ESPN and we don't have millions of people watching, but I guarantee you have fans watching, you have friends watching. Kelly, you want to shout out anybody?
Yeah, shout out our parents. I'm sure they're watching right now. Thanks for everything you do. Our dog Louie, our Frenchie. Who else? I mentioned our coaches, so Keeger, Peretta, Coach Wolf, Coach Poole, everyone that's coached me along the way, for sure.
That's some quality shout outs there. How about you, Katie?
I think Kelly has it covered on that one.
Yeah, she did have it covered, didn't she?
Yeah.
Okay. Julie?
I mean, she took my parents, yeah. So those are 2 good ones.
Okay.
I would say my coaches as well, of course.
Okay. And how about you, Jill?
Same as them, coaches, friends, family. Also, if anyone watching is not doing anything on Thursday, we play Oregon. Be a fun game to come and watch. It's Big Ten game right there. So
I have a haircut Thursday, but I guarantee you, I guarantee you I'm coming up to watch you play. I guarantee it. All right. All right. I'm excited for it. Well, thank you. Again, Kelly, Katie, Julie, and Jill Jekot. I mean, again, it's a pleasure. It's an honor. It was excited to do this. It was a lot of fun. We laughed a little bit, and I appreciate you guys carving out the time. I mean, I know it's not easy, but at least you guys got a chance to spend some time together as well. And I mean, thanks what you've done for Central PA high school sports. I mean, it's girls like you and guys like you that make high school sports what they are, and that's a great thing. And that's why I do it. I mean, it's a lot of fun. So let's thank our sponsors one more time: Rickabaugh Electric, Payer Apparel, Ted's Bar and Grill, Freedom Financial Wealth Management, the Tire Mart, Team PA, AAU Basketball, Tonino's Pizza, American Legion Post 272, Hoffman Ford Capital Region Insurance Agency, Modern Imprint, Sam Hartley Decking, Crystal Bobbitt, Howard Hanna Real Estate, and Underdog Sports Bar and Grill. Thanks again to these great local businesses for their continued support of Linglestown Gazette Sports and our area student athletes. Thanks to John and Jen for having these girls. And Jen, thank you for hooking us up, for making this happen, because I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. Girls, good luck with everything.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yep.
Thanks
Take
for
care.
having us.
You betcha.